Trump and Musk are killing veterans. You cannot cut the Veterans Administration by 25%. Mr. Trump suffered a terrible medical condition during the Vietnam War. He was not able to serve. The condition is called treachery and stupidity.
So we're all going to be suffering at the hands of not necessarily his puppet, but the interests and control of this guy. And then there's supposed to be a second puppeteer that is on your sheet, but and I think that as democracies, we've been sisters forever. We've had plenty of people fight and die for our right to vote, for our right to have a say in our governments.
The power-hungry have seized our country and our nation, and they're seizing our democracy.
This is Putin's plan to destroy and disrupt the West and the Western alliances. And he's got the perfect puppet.
When you make friends with your enemies and enemies of your friends, that is problematic.
And I am here to support all these people who are fighting for their jobs, for their health insurance, for Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, housing, interest rate, food, big numbers, a dozen eggs, sending their kids to school, buying clothes, celebrating holidays. People are just suffering because there is no money. Buying a car if they need one, making it to work. 200,000 people have lost their jobs. So let's add them to the unemployment list and food stamps and Medicaid, and let's see where we're going to get to that.
As it says here, Trump and Musk are killing veterans. You cannot cut the Veterans Administration by 25%, already done, and try to shrink it down to 50%. You cannot take people who have fought and become wounded and have long-time illnesses, PTSD, and who are in our veterans' hospitals and boot them out onto the street. This is what these cruel, thoughtless, we want to call them human beings, but we've got to understand that Mr. Trump suffered a terrible medical condition during the Vietnam War. He was not able to serve. The condition is called treachery and stupidity, and so many of the people in his cabinet are suffering from that today. I don't mean to be unkind to them, but they are ignorant and know not what they do. The last time someone said that, dear God, forgive them, they know not what they do. It was the last person who was standing up for humanity. So we have to realize this. And we have to honor our journalists and our videographers who are taking this message worldwide.
Right. Now, on Wednesday, the tariffs were imposed and announced. There was worldwide, there was a shock. Allies were again in shock. Allies like India, who could be great partners when you have to counter China. What do you have to say on that?
I've lived in Calcutta for almost 2 years. Today it is Kolkata. It is Kali's city, a city where a goddess, a great and powerful feminine force, still resides. That force resides all over India, and it resides all over the world. I am standing on the shoulders of my Mother Earth today, and all of these developing and fellow countries who understand the crimes that are going on in the United States are standing beside us. All of us, 20, 30, 40,000 people here at the Washington Monument today are saying, this will not stand. This fellow Elon Musk, this fellow Don Trump, they are going to go down in history just like Benedict Arnold as criminals. When they blockaded U.S. aid, that is called murder by starvation. These people cannot be allowed Trump to remain in power, and as the laws of the United States begin to take effect, these people are going to be going
This guy is not
to
part
jail.
of... I think the extreme tariffs that Trump announced are a wake-up call to Americans and people all around the world to understand that he is a destructive force. He aims to be a dictator. His policies are not good for Americans, and they are not good for our allies and trading partners, including people in the developing world, especially big democracies like India. We should be working with them as partners, not imposing tariffs that will make Americans poor and make people in India.
All right.
I might want to call strong men who are really dictators. And he, from the top?
Yeah.
Trump likes strong leaders. Most of them are dictators. He's shown an affinity for Prime Minister Modi, who of course is democratically elected. I'm hoping that Prime Minister Modi will reach out to Donald Trump and explain to him that these tariffs are bad for Americans and bad for the people of India, bad for everybody in the world. We are on the brink of a global depression, which will be especially hard for poor people around the world. And I hope that Prime Minister Modi will make that clear to Donald Trump.
Today with my Trump puppet, which I've been developing, and it was a lot of help because I actually don't typically make puppets. But the idea of the puppet is an arm with a president, Trump. He's a puppet of other interests, and for the tariffs this week, for example, to dismantle our country for other interests, which are those that are manipulating this leader who gets to sign executive orders and have some help. Yes, so we're all going to be suffering with the hands of not necessarily his puppet, but the interests that are controlling this guy. And then there's supposed to be a second puppeteer that is on your sheet, but
What does it mean for allies like India, you know, who are so important to counter China?
I mean, for me, just from my layperson perspective, I'm worried about the impact on my health, but also in our standing with the global economy, but also the society. I have a shame
I'm really honored today to greet my brothers and sisters across the globe in India. I have a great love for your country. And I think that as democracies, we've been sisters forever. We've had plenty of people fight and die for our right to vote, for our right to have a say in our governments. It's just shocking that this has happened. It's shocking that half of our country has voted for this. I think they themselves are shocked as well. And how to turn that around when we've gone down this road so far is hard to say. I'm very inspired when I think about Mahatma Gandhi, really. Today I'm here because it is our ocean and it's our salt. And I'm looking, what am I going to do to be the resistance? How am I going to do that peacefully? As for world commerce and world exchange, we have so much to give to each other. We have so much to learn on how to live together as a global community. This greed of me first, my country first, my products first, and as much money as I can possibly make, it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable for every country. It's unsustainable for the world. It's unsustainable for humanity. So I, again, just want to greet my brothers and sisters in India. I know that you're not strangers to adversity, and certainly not to class struggle, and certainly not strangers to poverty. You have so much to teach us. We're kind of babies. We've been rather economically privileged, and we're in a bit of a state of shock that even the privilege of freedom, the basic human rights, such as being able to speak to you today on camera, this might be taken from us. It's shocking. It's going to take us a while to catch up. So please help us. You're further down the road. You know the ocean better. You've tasted the salt yourselves. We're going to learn. We'll join you there. Please have faith in us. We'll pray for each other.
We're here because our democracy is being stolen by this administration or regime, and we wanted to make a very bold statement showing different aspects of what's happening now with the Trump administration. And so as you see here, this is self-explanatory. We have someone that wants to be a dictator trying to run our country as if he's an autocrat. This is, I think, the hands-off, everything that the administration is trying to do right now, putting their hands on everything, stripping us of all of our rights as a country.
When this country was founded on the openness of gathering the huddled masses of those who were distraught, those were put down, those who were disadvantaged, and our country was open to those seeking asylum. We feel now that our country, who was at one time harboring the masses, are now being punished for that, and feeling almost as if the Statue of Liberty and liberty itself is no longer welcome here. And it's disheartening, especially for somebody who grew up in a household where everybody was welcome, to now feel like people in this country, some people are no longer welcome. The overreach of Donald Trump and the fights that are in the court systems now, it seems like he wants to be the dictator that he is acting like. The Grolarchy is really demonstrates how those who have
the power hungry have seized our country and our nation, and they're seizing our democracy.
What I believe is going on, this is Putin's plan to destroy and disrupt the West and the Western alliances. And he's got the perfect puppet in Trump. And so he's got Trump doing his dirty work by putting these tariffs. And the only point of these tariffs is just to disrupt our Western alliances and the world trade as it is now, because Putin, I believe, has been holding a grudge since the USSR was destroyed. And he is so upset about that, and he wants to get revenge and strike back by destroying the United States and the Western alliance. He's doing a great job disrupting the United States from our allies. They're more than just Western allies. He's doing a great job doing that. But he might end up having a world that's even stronger, though, when all these countries don't just sit back and let the United States do the leading on everything, and they're capable of standing up and uniting against Russia.
What about strategic partners like India in the Indo-Pacific? Imposing tariffs on them, what does that mean?
That's no more sense than any of them. Why would he be putting tariffs? They already have trade agreements, and we already have established trade systems. There may be some tariffs on certain items, but it's already agreed to. This is all strictly to isolate the United States and disrupt us from all our peaceful alliances. Has nothing to do with India. Has nothing to do with the other countries in the Pacific. Has almost nothing to do with us and them. This is just Putin's way of striking back, and he's got a hold of the government here in the United States, which is a very powerful tool.
In part, I'm here, and this dovetails with your question, because when you make friends with your enemies and enemies of your friends, that is problematic. And when you further reinforce that through tariffs, which, by the way, do not benefit the American people at all, then this is problematic at every level, ideologically, economically, and morally. So this is why I'm here.